Oh man, I'm so excited to check out the new Crucible mechanic.
Haha, you died.
Surely if it's really dangerous, I'll get really good loot.
No. No loot.
Well, at least the Crucible trees are going to be insanely strong.
Downsides.
Hi, Zizaran here with another video, and this is going to be how to fix Crucible. And honestly, if you're a new player, don't watch this video because it doesn't really matter, because this is mostly like a bitter vet thing. I want to explain that a little bit before we start in the video. I feel like new players are always going to have a good time in every PoE league because they're too busy learning the game and they don't have anything to compare it to. But with that in mind, Crucible has a lot of downsides, a lot of issues. It has a lot of issues with the user interface, and they just dropped another patch today, which was actually pretty good. It now has a meter showing the danger, which is exactly what I was hoping for in some of my videos, and they've started like going away from having the downsides on the first node. So it's starting to move in a good direction. However, there's like a lot of things I would love to see, like uniques especially. Something I've been doing is I've been taking an item level 86 or item level 83 item, forging it in a low area. The reason for that, it's so dangerous, right? That I don't want to do 83 maps and forge in high levels. So I'd rather do it in a lot longer time. It's incredibly slow, which is very punishing. It's actually very slow at all levels, even if you are in higher maps. I go down to low tier maps just to be safe because yeah, it's incredibly overtuned, and we'll talk about that. Another thing that is crazy different as well is the monsters. Not just are they incredibly overtuned compared to normal things, and I think this is a huge flaw of Path of Exile. And honestly, it's not even about the difficulty of the monsters, it's about the inconsistency. Because there are some things they could do to fix this by making, for example, rogue exiles really hard or map bosses really hard. People were actually joking about this in my chat where I was saying like that it's so inconsistent. They said GGG : yeah, okay, now map bosses are 8 million times harder. And honestly, at least that would make more sense. But what I mean is that it's really strange experience to be fighting a Crucible monster for 2 to 4 minutes, and then I go over and I one-hit the map boss. And the map boss drops more rewards too. So it's very strange. It's very, like, I like a lot of what the league is trying to do, but I don't like the implementation at all. I would actually say so far, this is my least favorite league. And thankfully, the base game is in a really good state that I'm having a lot of fun, but I'm definitely not having fun with the league mechanic. It's more in spite of. So I think it's very fixable. I think it's actually easier to fix than Calandra, but yeah, a little frustrated. Another problem I'm having is inconsistency. So if I do 10 atoll maps right now, right, the same tier, they're all white, no damage mods, and in each of those I hold the button to full. Some of those encounters are going to be literally magnitude stronger, right? And some I will just one-shot almost everything. They'll die very fast and they won't hurt me. And in others, they'll one-shot me and take forever to kill. It's so inconsistent between the different monster types. Like you get the chaos one can just absolutely shred you. The fire one can absolutely shred you. Maybe the lightning ones do nothing. So it's very inconsistent between monster types. And I think that's a big issue right now. So I would love to see that changed. I don't know, mellow them out a little bit. It's also so weird that if I'm in a tier 3 or tier 5 maps, the league mechanic feels like the equivalent of being like in a tier 16 map. So that's very strange to me. I would love to see that changed. The rewards of Crucible itself, I think the best suggestion I saw was by Headhunter in my chat. And he said, imagine if you're holding it, like in a low map, you're maybe getting 1 or 2 rewards like Delirium. And like Delirium, if you hold it past like 50% or 75%, you're getting an additional reward and they're all going up in tiers. So you're really incentivized to hold it down and you get a cool little loot explosion where you are getting some random currency. We're quite starved for divines and stuff like that. The drop rate doesn't seem different than last league. So if you're not doing altars and getting lucky, it's pretty rough on a lot of the basic currency that people want for crafting. So I would definitely want that changed. Yeah, I think filler currency like that is important. I don't necessarily want every other league mechanic, but just filler currency feels really good. That's what Sanctum did really well. It didn't really give much of other people's league mechanic. Like, you know, you weren't getting heist items in Sanctum, but you got really decent amounts of currency that people could play around with. This is particularly important for new players because they won't appreciate Crucible items. And let's talk about Crucible items. What happened to no downsides? They basically said that it was very rare to get downsides on the first nodes and that it would be reserved for the later nodes. And first off, I don't think Path of Exile does downsides very well. Like, if something's gonna have a downside, it's either it's something that's irrelevant to my build and it doesn't affect it, right? Like, let's say that it's less fire damage, but I don't deal any fire damage, right? They do those downsides a lot. I don't think they're good downsides. When they do downsides that affect a build, it honestly sometimes completely destroys or is so bad that the upside is never worth it. Like, if something's gonna actually be a bad downside that affects a lot of things, the upside needs to be magnitude stronger for it just not to feel bad at all. 30 to 60% of items, like just a large amount of the items, the first item is a downside. I've unveiled so many times now where it's like, yeah, more damage, but minus 10% life. And I'm like, what? I also think the base encounters need to have more cool outcomes. Like, I really liked what they do with the fact that the endgame forges can drop crucible items. That should be the case by default. There should be crucible items, and the basically the lapidary lens, I think it's called magmatic orb or something, that is completely useless, because why would you bother grinding out a new item, which it takes forever to get to that, just to put it into another item? Why not just grind out that item itself? And I'd rather just spam new items looking for at least getting divines and getting other things. I don't know, it's just it's a bit strange. So frustrated there. Like, more things should drop from the encounter. So have magmatic orbs drop so that you can just like, okay, cool, I can now like just check out a new item. Or yeah, also drop new like item crucibles, like just a crucible tree, and maybe have uniques can drop with crucible trees. Like, imagine you drop like an Oro sacrifice and the tree is already revealed. That would make getting uniques from Crucible incredibly exciting. It's like, and this could turn items that, okay, I would maybe never use an Oros, but because it dropped with this really cool tree, now I'm going to use it. And you can unlock a custom unique tree on anything you want. But a large issue with this is I'm probably only going to use that on things that are already really good base items. Whereas a tier 2 or tier 3 or tier 4, like a lower quality unique, could end up being extremely good if it has a good tree. But you're never going to make it have a good tree, if that makes sense. I hope it made sense. So those are some of the main fixes I would like to see for the league. And yeah, I think it can be in a good spot. So obviously it's a lot of power creep, but I'm definitely a little bored doing a lot of these. And yeah, I don't know. Would love to see any other suggestions that GGG could do to fix things. Either way, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Sub if you like it, but more importantly, try to die less than I do.